Right now we're going to see how social BPM features work in practice. We're looking at the Sequence Kinetics flow time interface, and this is of course the environment where end users and managers run and manage processes. We've logged in as Ben, who is a manager of a customer service team, and we're going to see how Ben and his team use Sequence Kinetics Social BPM features to communicate with each other about processes and how these features improve the collaboration of Ben's team and ultimately improve process performance. So Ben is going to kick off a service request, which he's received from a customer. This is the initial form of that request, and Ben begins to fill out the fields of the form. And at some point, Ben decides that it would be important to add a comment which other process participants are going to see. And to do that, he simply clicks here on comments, and then he writes the subject of the comment, and this is a piece of information that, for example, he knows from speaking with the customer, and he wants to make sure that other process participants are aware of this. Ben can select the comment mode as either public or private. In fact, if Ben selects private, then only Ben will be able to see this comment. So it may be relevant for him just as a memory device, but if he wants others to see it, he should leave it as public, and he clicks send. Now Ben's comment has been added to the process wall for others to see. So, for example, if Ben were to submit this form, and then it goes off to Mark, Peter, and Tom, who are other process participants, and let's say now we're going to log in as Peter. We'll log out of Ben's flow time here. Okay, and now let's log in as Peter. Okay, so here we are logged in as Peter. If we go to open this process which Peter has received, okay, we can fetch it because it's basically been delivered to in a queue, and now Peter's fetched it as one of the 3 process participants to receive it in that queue. Now Peter sees that there's a comment here on that process. He clicks here and he sees Ben's comment. So that's something that he has that extra bit of information that Ben wanted to share, and it's right there for him. And of course, right now Peter could add a comment of his own. And now we've got 2 comments there. Notice that both users have their photos here, so that helps just add the little personal touch so they can identify each other, and that enhances the collaboration feeling among the team. And as both these comments are public, so every process participant will be able to see them. So that's just a simple example of comments. Now let's say Peter isn't sure about something. He wants to ask a question to another one of the process participants. So what he'll do is he'll click here on questions, and then Peter can ask a question to someone else in the process, someone else along the way, or anyone else really in the organization. Let's say in this case he wants to ask Betty, who might be in charge of financial matters, a question. Okay, and then here again, Peter can choose to make the question mode public or private. Now in this case, if he makes it private, then only himself and the person he's asking, which is Betty, will see the question and the answer. Whereas if he makes it public, then any of the process participants can see it. So for now, we'll leave it public and we'll hit send. Now Peter has asked that question, and now we'll log in as Betty, and we'll be able to answer that question. Okay, so we've logged in as Betty here, and what Betty sees in her inbox is this little icon, which means that she's received a question from someone on this process, and we even actually have the process instance number here, and of course the date it was received, and the question subject as well. So the subject, which process we're talking about, it's a service request, and the instance number, we've got it right there. So Betty can open up Peter's question, and that goes straight to the process wall questions, and she can answer the question. Okay, and then she answers it, and then if we were to go back to Peter's login, we would see her answer in his inbox. So he gets the answer he needs, and in that way, we have better collaboration. We have the ability to ask and answer questions, add comments, simply increasing the amount of information flowing between process participants. Another powerful feature here is that a user can ask a question not only to a specific person, but also to an entire department or role within the organization. And this is done by the Choose Recipients window here. Here we see the users, and if I were to choose departments, I could send a question to an entire department, or I could send a question to a specific type of role within the organization. So that's just an additional level of power where you can broadcast a question to multiple people according to a specific role or department. And this is how things start to look when we've got several questions and answers on the process wall. Quite active, obviously, and a lot of collaboration there between the team members. And in this way, we're going to see less bottlenecks. We're going to see better customer satisfaction because we get their questions answered, we give better service, and simply less errors and better teamwork among the process participants. And that's all through using the process wall here for questions and comments, and simply just making use of that. Finally, it's important to mention that all of this question and answer and comment data is saved within the system, attached to each process. So it's not separate, it's not in a separate email server or some other kind of application. It goes along with the process, and thereby it provides effectively an audit trail when it comes to information surrounding the process, which can be easily accessed by a manager who's trying to track what exactly happened with the process. And right now, actually, we're looking at the Process to Go mobile BPM application. And here, too, users can add social BPM comments to processes as follows. And here you can choose if the comment will be visible to everyone or not. That's really the public or private option. And what's important is that we've given users the ability to communicate that extra social information not only on PC but also via mobile device. And that clearly extends the organizational collaboration capabilities. Sequence Kinetics Flow Time is based on Microsoft SharePoint, and it includes a variety of additional social features, such as the ability to conduct a team discussion on various issues, which obviously promotes the back and forth of information and resolving of questions and answers, and giving tips and the like. There's the ability to like items, which is obviously a social media feature, and also the ability to write notes to a note board on items. And here we've got the ability just to bring that into a kind of social media feed. Finally, there's the ability to rate items, and this gives users the capability to communicate value between each other and on the team as far as the value of each item or process or document. So these are just some additional social BPM features which Sequence Kinetics leverages. Now, how is all this configured? It's very simple. In the Sequence App Studio, where the person who's designing this process creates the process, the developer or the power user, whoever it is, simply selects, and this is a default, it's already selected, to enable comments and to enable Q&A on the process, and that's just in the social features area of the properties tab. And even more than that, the process designer can actually even customize the question and answer format by clicking here, and this is actually the custom format of the subject and the body of the question, but this can be customized if the designer unclicks use the default question template, and then the developer can actually add additional fields. For example, using the parameters that we display here, in order to give even more information about the question or the answer. In addition, the designer can decide whether or not the question is sent to the participant's personal email as well, or company email, I should say, as well, or whether it's only sent, if none is selected, then it's only sent to their inbox in flow time. So normally send link is selected as default. So we've got the ability to also customize the question and answer format here, and of course the ability to enable or disable these options. And as I said, by default they are enabled. In addition, we have the ability, if you're a administrator, then you'll have the ability to upload a user's photograph, and this is obviously something which enhances the kind of the teamwork nature here. So you would simply select the select button and then find the photograph, upload it, and then that team member has his or her photograph right beside their questions and answers. Very similar to obviously popular social networks such as Facebook and the like, or LinkedIn, where you see the person's face right there. We're basically taking the best parts of Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and these very popular social networking tools, and we're leveraging those better parts for real business benefits when it comes to process performance. Well, that wraps up the demo part where we see how we actually use social BPM features within Sequence Kinetics. As I said, very easy to use within the flow time and extremely easy to configure within the administration environment.